Once limit exists, AB calculus stops asking you to evaluate every expression from scratch. Instead, you can break a complicated limit into smaller pieces and combine the answers. These are the algebraic properties of limits, and they are going to save you a lot of work. Let's see the big idea. The main idea is more important than memorizing just 6 formulas. If you know the limits of f and g as x approaches a certain point, then sums, differences, products, constant multiples, powers, roots, and with one important condition, quotients, can be handled piece by piece. So always think, break it apart, evaluate the pieces, and then recombine. More specifically, with regards to sum and difference. For a sum or difference, you should take the limit of each function separately and then just add or subtract. For a constant multiple, the constant simply stays outside and multiplies the limit. So, if the limit of f is 5, then the limit of 3f is 3 times 5 equals 15. Nothing mysterious, just limits respect these algebraic operations. Let's continue with product and quotient. For a product, multiply the individual limits. You see that limit of f of x times g of x should be equal to limit of f of x multiplied by limit of g of x. For a quotient now, we should divide the individual limits, but only if the denominator limit is non-zero. That condition is very important, because if the denominator approaches 0, then the quotient law does not give you any permission to do the division. Continuing with power law. For a positive integer power, first find the limit of the inside and then raise that result to the power. So for instance, the limit of f of x to the power of n should be equal to limit of f of x and then all that to the power of n. Moving on roots. For roots, the same basic idea applies, with the usual restriction for even roots. The limiting value must be non-negative in the real number setting. Again, the pattern is consistent. Evaluate the inner limit and then apply the algebraic operation. That means that the limit of the nth root of f of x should be the same as the nth root of limit of f of x. And let's seal this video with one example. We are given that limit of f of x as x approaches 3 equals 5, limit of g of x as x approaches 3 equals 2, and now we are asked to find the limit of 3f of x minus g of x squared as x approaches 3. We should use the limit laws we mentioned before. At first, I will use the difference law and I will break that given expression. So I'm going to write it as limit of 3f of x, I'm here, minus limit of gx squared. Then I'm going to apply the constant multiple law and I will take the 3 and move it in front of the limit. So limit 3f of x should be the same as 3 times limit f of x. And then it's about the power rule. Limit of g of x squared is the same as limit of g of x and then all that squared. Now it's easy because we already know that limit of f of x is 5 and that limit of g of x is 2. Of course, we are always talking when x approaches 3. Finally, by just doing simple operations, we would get that 3 times 5 minus 2 squared equals 11. Let's close with an AP habit. When you see an expression built from functions whose limits are already known, do not overcomplicate it. Identify the operations, apply the matching limit laws, and then substitute those limiting values. The algebra, remember, that should become the easy part. Stay with me because in the next lesson we will use given function values and given limits together, and we will see which information actually matters. Remember, the Mega Smart Notes from Unit 1 bundle I use here alongside the entire Unit 1 bundle and the entire AP Collection series can be found in the description below. As always, thank you for watching and don't forget to subscribe.